I've been dying to test the cameras on the Pixel 7 Pro ever since Google announced that it is coming to India. Because finally we have an official Google flagship launch in our country after the Pixel 3 XL, which launched way back in 2018. Anyway, when Google showcased the Super S zoom capabilities of the Pixel 7 Pro at launch using some AI magic, I really wanted to test it out and see if it can beat our current zoom champion, the Galaxy S22 Ultra. And of course, while you're at it, test the rest of the camera stack as well. Hi, I'm Arshad, you're watching Trakin Tech English, and without wasting a second, let's get down to the camera battle of the year. By the way, stay tuned till the end of the video because I'm going to be talking about the new camera features on the Google Pixel 7 Pro and let you guys know if it is any good. Now let's start by evaluating the primary cameras on the phone. The Pixel 7 Pro's 50MP Samsung GN1 sensor has a marginally larger 1x1.31 inch sensor size compared to the 1x1.33 inch sensor on the 108 megapixel Samsung HM3 used in the Galaxy S22 Ultra. In my test in wide shots of the landscape, the center sharpness was nearly identical on both, but when you move to any corner of the image, Pixel offers sharper textures and cleaner lines, which is further enhanced by the added contrast in the processing. Now the same is true for indoor shots in artificial lights. The Pixel 7 Pro's algorithm tastefully sharpens the details to make text more legible. It is clear that Google's algorithm is fantastic at this sharpening business. Now you see, Samsung is plenty sharp too, but in general, the Pixel beats it. Now Pixel's color reproduction is closer to natural, not exactly natural, but very contrast heavy. And therefore the blacks are deeper than usual in every image. Now Samsung tends to slightly boost the colors. Now in this first sample, it doesn't cause any problem per se, but in this second sample, the pinks and the reds are deeper than what my eyes saw. Pixel tries to be more faithful with the color reproduction. Technically, Pixel wins the color reproduction round, but if you're only sharing on social media, then these differences won't really matter to you. What does make a huge difference, however, is Pixel's superior HDR algorithm. In the first image, I shot directly into the sun. There's not too much difference between the two here except for the glaring lens flare issue on both. But the very next image shows how well Pixel's algorithm controls the highlights and the shadows. The highlights are slightly blown out on the S22 Ultra's image, and the noise is well controlled too in the shadows on Pixel, and there are much more details on offer. And even in low light HDR, just look at the difference here. Pixel's HDR performance is consistently good. Even the white balance is far better controlled on the Pixel compared to the Samsung in most situations. Samsung goes for a warmer white balance, adding a dab of red to the whites in most scenarios. Now, if you're going to be shooting friends and family, the Pixel 7 Pro is the phone that you want by your side. Because Pixel's real tone offers fantastic facial tones and the sharpness helps too. Plus the contrast adds so much drama to the whole scene. I mean, the S22 Ultra doesn't look bad, but next to the Pixel, it pales in comparison. Quite literally, if I must add. You know what is also dramatic? When you hit that red subscribe button and it turns grey. Anyway, it'll be great if you guys can give us the support. And if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and maybe even comment below for the sake of the YouTube algorithm, so this video can reach more people looking for content like this. Indoors, even if the scene looks warmer and more dramatic, everyone will gravitate towards the Pixel 7 Pro. I think somewhere in between the pictures produced by these two phones is what my eyes actually saw. Now thankfully, Google has also improved the portrait algorithm. The level of background blur is more controlled and looks very realistic now, creating a very good simulation of an actual bokeh using a DSLR. And you can also use the 2x for portraits too, just like you can use the 3x on the S22 Ultra. But this is where I feel Samsung does a stellar job of the edge cutout. And for portraits, I like the punch-in because it captures the actual size of the face. So for 1x portraits, Pixel comes out at top, and for anything punched in with the telephoto camera, I think I would prefer the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. In low light shots with night mode or night sight on, both the phones expose the scenes equally well. But what the Pixel does better is offer sharper textures. For example, the R.K. Lakshman statue here is more detailed. Or in the second image, the details on the cars and the number plates are more legible. In fact, you can even see that the Pixel's noise reduction algorithm does a better job of smoothing out the noise without losing out on the details in the shadow region. And it goes without saying that HDR is better in the final shot here, and therefore the image looks far far more pleasing to the eye. If I have to shoot low light shots, I would again pick the Pixel 7 Pro. So overall, when it comes to primary camera performance, I think the Pixel 7 Pro comes out on top. Coming to the ultrawides, I was actually stunned by how similar the samples looked in daylight. It's like they were taken using the same phone. You get the exact same details, which is even true for indoor ultra-wide angle shots. Although HDR is better on Samsung's ultra-wide. You can see a blown out sky on the Pixel where Samsung brings out the clouds in the blue sky. It's quite odd that Google cannot actually replicate the HDR performance that it managed to achieve on the primary camera in the ultra-wide as well. But knowing Google, I'm sure this will be fixed in a software update. Pixel 6 and 6 Pro users, let me know if you're facing this problem in the comment section below. Both the phones offer great color science consistency between the ultra-wide and the primary, but that's generally the promise of a flagship grade camera setup anyway. Now, low light ultra-wides are definitely sharper on the Galaxy S22 Ultra because it uses a larger 1x2.55 inch sensor as opposed to the 1x2.9 inch one on the Pixel. Plus, the pixel size used by the sensor on the S22 Ultra is larger at 1.4 microns compared to 1.25 microns on the Pixel 7 Pro. Now, Google has also added autofocus to the ultra-wide angle camera, thankfully, and that lets you take macro shots of any subject as close as 3 centimeters. Now, the camera app shows that the macro mode is active automatically when you move close to the subject, similar to how Samsung switches to the focus mode. Now, both these phones can get really close and can capture sharp pictures too. I couldn't tell any difference per se. I would pick either one of the two for, macro shots. Overall though, when it comes to ultra-wide angle camera performance, Samsung does it better than Pixel. While super res zoom is the cool new feature, comparing the telephoto performance on both these phones is kind of complicated because the Pixel has one single 5x telephoto camera. But similar to the iPhone, it actually crops into the primary camera's, large 50 MP canvas and pulls out a 12.5 MP 2x crop. And it does something similar with the 5x, 48 MP telephoto camera as well. So the larger canvas out there helps it take a 10x shot. And then of course, Google adds super res zoom on top of it, and that works across the zoom range right up to 30x. It's a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning, trickery that Google employs, and it kind of delivers as well. So starting with the 2x shot, you get sharper details on the Pixel 7 Pro because of the crop in and super res zoom. S22 Ultra's details look heavily over-processed and soft at 2x. At 3x, S22 Ultra's dedicated telephoto camera is definitely sharper, but Pixel's super res zoom somewhat salvages the situation. It's not entirely bad. At 5x, the tables are turned because the 7 Pro has a dedicated camera and it is sharper than the Galaxy S22 Ultra, this time much sharper. And since Samsung doesn't have any super res zoom, it doesn't match up to the Pixel either. At 10x, S22 Ultra's dedicated shooter has an edge over the Pixel 7 Pro's sensor cropped 10x sample, but not so much that it feels like a huge difference. Now moving on to 30x, S22 Ultra is slightly better again. Of course, the S22 Ultra can go even further to 100x, but up till 30x, I think the pictures that you can get with these phones are usable and social media share worthy as well. But what I was surprised to find out is super res zoom can actually match the Galaxy S22 Ultra's telephoto camera performance and sometimes even beat it. Now how about low light zoom? Pixel 7 Pro offers sharper textures at 2x, 3x, 5x zoom ranges and 10x. And if you want to shoot the moon, Samsung does a better job when the phone is handheld. Of course, with the Pixel 7 Pro, you can also trigger the astrophotography mode by placing it on a tripod. Overall, both are great cameras for telephoto performance, and I'd say it's a bit of a tie depending on which zoom range you prefer. But the Pixel 7 Pro does it with one telephoto camera, whereas Samsung requires two. That's the power of computational photography. Now, selfies are still a strong suit of the S22 Ultra thanks to the very high resolution front camera. What you get are close to accurate facial tones, at least for my face, and sharper textures as well. Pixel 7 Pro selfie looks contrasty but definitely pretty attractive. But the processed look helps in HDR situations. I really like how Pixel has chosen to process this scene. It is definitely not close to real life but looks so good nonetheless compared to the Galaxy S22 Ultra. Selfie portraits in good light, however, have good edge detection on both the phones, but the other aspects like facial tones, color accuracy, sharpness, etc. are the same as before. In less than ideal white light indoors, the Galaxy S22 Ultra does considerably better than the Pixel 7 Pro, but in proper low light when you're shooting in the night with the front camera, Both are equally matched, and probably I wouldn't use either one of these pictures for sharing on social media. Now both the phones of course are flagship phones and can shoot 4K 60 FPS video using every single camera in the stack, including the front one. Now when you shoot with the rear camera at 4K 60 FPS, Pixel captures lower bitrate audio and video and a warmer looking footage. Not a big deal considering the footage itself has sharper textures thanks to the cranked up contrast. It has better HDR and good stabilization as well. Sound recording is great on both, but Pixel adds more heft to the bass section, making it sound more full.
Do let me know in the comment section below what you thought about the image quality, the image stabilization. Do let me know in the comment section below what you thought about the image quality, the image stabilization.
But there are two areas where Pixel trounces the S22 Ultra, that's in low light and when you're shooting with the active stabilization mode. Now Google's active stabilization mode works at Full HD 30 FPS, and the difference in stabilization compared to the 1080p 60 FPS video on the S22 Ultra is just night and day. That's not it, you can also shoot 10-bit HDR videos using the Pixel now, which considerably improves the range of colors you can capture and gives you a more vibrant look. Samsung can also shoot HDR 10 plus videos for what it is worth. However, you can only achieve this at 4K 30 FPS using both the phones, unlike the iPhone which can actually do it at 4K 60 FPS. Anyway, both these test samples look absolutely stunning, but I'd urge that you look at these test samples in a proper 10-bit display, and I'll share links to the videos in the description below. Now in 4K 60 FPS ultra-wide angle videos, there is very little separating the two phones though, except for the extra warmth in Pixel's footage. However, Samsung's superior ultra-wide sensor comes in handy when shooting ultra-wide low-light videos. You can see a brighter exposure and lower noise levels too. That said, both the footage are equally bad and I wouldn't probably use them anywhere. Now when it comes to selfie videos as well, the processing is very similar. You get warmer footage and better HDR on the Pixel 7 Pro, but Pixel benefits from the wider field of view and Samsung benefits from the superior wind noise correction in audio recording. I'd say both are good in their own processing styles.
Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about the image quality, the image stabilization, the sound recording. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about the image quality, the image stabilization, the sound recording.
But the selfie video quality on the Pixel 7 Pro falls apart in low light because the sensor is not as capable as the one on the S22 Ultra. There's far more noise and light flicker too. Now I've been testing the Galaxy S22 Ultra for a long time now and I've done a bunch of comparisons already, and Samsung has been consistently improving the performance, especially the shooting speeds with regular updates. But Pixel still beats it easily even today. Many times during my testing I would have to take more pictures with the Galaxy S22 Ultra because invariably one or two of them would end up being blurred, which wasn't really the case with the Pixel. Now talking about blurred subjects, Pixel's unblur feature is actually really cool. It works on any subject, not just humans. In a sense, it fixes any shake related ghosting, but as you can see, it reduces the details. So that's the trade-off with software-based corrections anyway. The unblur feature is also applied automatically immediately after you take a picture, which is plenty useful. Now finally, let's talk about cinematic blur. So cinematic blur is currently limited to Full HD 24 FPS on the Pixel 7 Pro. Now of course, Samsung keeps it more plain and simple. It calls it portrait video mode, and that's limited to Full HD 30 FPS. You don't get a 24 FPS mode. Although Samsung does it better in my opinion. You get a closer focusing distance on the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. The focus switching works really well. The depth information is also really good too, and so is the edge cutout. However, cinematic mode on Apple is the real deal. And if you want to know how that performs against the cinematic blur of the Pixel 7 Pro, stay subscribed to this channel. The Pixel 7 Pro's camera performance, even in such early stages of its life cycle, is absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure nobody was doubting that either. I absolutely love the advancements made with super res zoom, and the HDR performance of course continues to impress, and that new photo unblur feature could come in handy quite a few times. Now personally, between the Galaxy S22 Ultra and the Pixel 7 Pro, I'd probably pick the Pixel 7 Pro because the zooming capabilities have been improved by leaps and bounds. The only thing that Google needs to fix now is actually improve the ultra-wide angle camera in the next iteration of the Pixel phone, because in the entire stack, this is the only one that's not the best out there. I mean, it's good enough, but it's not the best. As for the Galaxy S22 Ultra, it's still a fantastic phone for photography, But to be fair to this phone, it's been a while, almost a year since it launched, and the Galaxy S23 Ultra is just around the corner. So for the S22 Ultra to still stand tall is commendable. All I want Samsung to do is improve the shooting speeds with the S23 Ultra and we're good. So what do you guys think of this comparison? Do you like the Pixel? Do you like the Samsung? Which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, this is Aishad signing off. Keep tracking and stay safe.